There's huntsman work, and then there's work that only a huntsman can stomach. In Mistral, you'll get both kinds. Full of thieves and assassins, this is a region where the people can be just as, if not more, dangerous than the Grimm. If you don't know how to watch yourself, a wrong back alley can swallow you up just as easily as a manticore. It's the type of place where secrets live in the open. Perfect for the brazen sort to make an unscrupulous living. Unlike Vacuo, this isn't where people go to disappear. It's where they go to make empires. Hidden amongst the winding mountains and in the belly of the underworld, you're sure to find them. Just make sure you don't stick your nose too far where it doesn't belong.
Hey, welcome to episode 3 of RWBY the Grimm campaign. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Ready to answer a riddle.
That's right. We did leave off
hooray.
on a riddle. Does anyone want to? I'm just going to jump right into it. Can Phoenix recap us from last session? Let's do it.
Previously on RWBY, the Grimm campaign, we spent a lot of time fighting a lot of Lancers. The castle guards came out,
Yeah,
right? Can we call them castle guards?
Pike made a friend. Pike became best friends with like the sheriff of this area.
Oh my.
Yeah, Sheriff Alabaster. You guys met
Yes.
Sheriff Alabaster. Do you remember
Yeah.
what that conversation entailed?
Alabaster, yeah, he hated Pike.
No.
He hated him with a burning hot passion.
No. We bonded
yeah,
over a bunch of stuff.
So from what we gather, Kuchinashi is not really a big fan of him or kind of the law keepers of that area, and so he kind of is keeping his own up there. But he kind of led us to go over to the marketplace, right, or the Central Strip. Was it called Opal? No, what was the name of the place that we're
He
supposed
pushed
to go to?
you towards the Skillful.
Skillful Tavern, yeah.
Tavern
Which was
that
run by
requires
Opal.
Skillful.
Yeah, that requires a
That's
Huntsman
it.
license to enter.
That's
And you guys made
That's
your way
right.
there. And what happened when you got there?
So once we got there, rather large faunus woman came out and read a book, and then our friend Arastra here got was very interested
Shot her
in
right in the face.
No.
Interested
Picked
in
the
a different
opposite,
way.
But yeah, close.
But I'm also interested, but in a different way. I'm ready to start this campaign off today with me arm wrestling someone.
I just can't wait to hang out with my friend
Spoiler.
Yeah, Pike's still calling, trying to find Alabaster's number on it for his
Yeah.
scroll so he could touch base,
again. I want to send him like funny memes and stuff.
Best, you're gonna send him some TikTok.
Some
TikToks don't
TikToks,
exist.
yeah.
We need to come up with an alternate version of TikToks.
What's the in-game social media or
The
in-world?
Remnant, definitely not canon.
It's called. It's actually just called TikTok. It's actually just called TikTok.
But it's actually spelled like TikTok with a CK.
yeah.
on the
It's
side.
like clock based.
I hope I did a good job there.
No, you did.
You didn't, but that's
You
the
did a
point.
job.
You did a job.
Definitely did a
Shut
job.
up.
Yeah.
I would rank
All right.
you. I would
Three
rank
of
you
you-
above Carrie's recap, below Chad's
Yes!
recap. So
That's all I want in life is to just be better than Carrie at stuff. I mean, better than Pike at stuff. Really, is what it is.
all right. So yeah, you guys have rolled up to the Skillful. You guys are feeling a little chilly from the rain. Buck comes out of the tavern. She's the enormous faunus woman that you've seen that has the sheared off kind of antlers. She's very mean looking.
Buck.
Sets down her big rifle, sits down on a little stool, and she looks up at you guys, and she is basically ready to give you guys a riddle. She looks over at Asher actually, and she's like, "Is that Asher Mora?" Oh.
Depends on who's asking.
Well, I just
Oh my.
surprised to see you here after the last time you came through Kuchinashi. So
Yeah, maybe let's not talk about that.
she looks.
I think we're gonna talk about it.
She checks her scroll, kind of looks through, and she's like, "Well, you're not on the ban list, so
Hey, just wondering, what happened?
Yeah, she's kind of looking back
Oh
and
my.
forth between you guys, not really my issue.
That's none of your business.
Well, no, it's not, but it sounds funny.
There was a misunderstanding.
Oh my.
Some items were misplaced, and they ended up being found on my person. Who's to say how it happened?
Magic.
Probably.
I would like to check my body to make sure nothing has gone missing. I immediately look down. I'm like, huh.
I would
wondering
like
if he
to
stole
hand
anything.
Phoenix back his rope.
Wait a second now.
So she's
Kind of
already kind of
shenanigans
getting tired of this, and she's like,
Oh, we've got more.
she's like looking down at her book, and she's like, "Well, I'd really like to get back to this, so
Can I skip the riddle this time?
nope." Part of the whole thing. So she kind of
I'm
gets a
still like
serious
here
face.
waiting.
All right, let's get on with it.
I have no life, but I cannot die. What am I?
I just want to ask her. I want to ask her what. Hey, what book are you reading?
Oh, she looks down at it. It's called Catch 33.
Okay. So not a clue. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me some perception checks.
12 for Asher.
I got a 2, so I fell in a sewer and
Pike, you like start thinking about the riddle, and it's just like you like sit down on the steps, and you're just like the rain's pouring down around you, and you're like staring off into like nothing. Like this has blown your mind.
this is a
Yeah,
little
I've
bit
got
much
like
for me.
I think a total of 5. So
I rolled a
Okay.
21.
Okay, so Arashtra,
Arashtra wrote this riddle.
Arashtra, you are familiar with this riddle because it's not actually super complicated. You pull up your scroll and you show her your Huntsman license.
Okay.
She's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Everyone thinks this is a lot harder than it is. Okay."
I hold up my scroll, and at first there's like a video game on it, but then like I close that really quick, and then I hold up and it's my license.
I hand Phoenix's scroll.
what did you steal from me?
I like this.
I mean,
I like this
did you-
mini game that we've got going on
When
here.
did you take this from me?
Don't worry about it.
So she looks and she's like, "Pike, right? Okay. And she
Yeah, that's me.
kind of
That's me.
I take my hand down like that I was gonna arm wrestle. I look at my scroll and I'm like looking at Asher like.
I was just keeping it safe for you.
You
You seem very accident
I show her
prone.
my scroll as well.
nice." So yeah, you guys make your way into the tavern, and kind of when you walk into the Skillful, it's one of those things where there's like kind of those reputation of like rowdy bars, especially in like really dangerous places, and so it's kind of
Chili's.
one of those things where you would expect this place to be like crazy rowdy when you walk in, but it's actually not that at all. It's surprisingly chill. It's a place that it's specifically worded, right? It's a place that requires a Huntsman license to enter. Doesn't have to be active, doesn't have to be yours. If you have come by way of a Huntsman license through whatever means, right? It means you earned it, and you're allowed to step foot in here. You walk in, and it's not like a rowdy place like you'd expect, but everyone does kind of have the look of like they're all relaxed, but like you have that sense that they could be kind of like a tripwire at any second. They barely even pay you notice as you guys walk in. There's a little like a tiny little stage. There's like someone up there like doing like lo-fi chill hop beats like with a bunch of scrolls. When you walk in, there's like photos on the wall, like former headmasters of academies, maybe famous huntsmen, things like that. And you even notice a poster for the upcoming 39th Vital Festival that'll be happening in Mistral, the capital city. For you RWBY fans, this helps you know when we are. So yeah, you walk in and you notice behind the bar there is a woman who is still wearing something that might have been armor at one point or another. She is older, but she still carries herself kind of with like the that kind of like old man strength of like that sinewy, like very strong kind of build. She's got a scar that kind of runs down one side of her face. Her face doesn't actually look particularly like super old, but you can tell this person's seen their
Well, maybe the
fair
crow's
share
feet
of,
or two, but nothing.
yeah.
I think we established at this point that Pike might have a certain air to him on the kind of like naive younger side.
Oh boy.
Can I try and like kind of like fake a little bit more like put together experience?
Go ahead,
Oh
give me a charisma roll for that. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. 15 total.
So yeah, actually, if all of you guys want to give me some history checks,
Okay.
real quick.
19.
So
Man, I only got a
did-
7.
I did roll a 1. I'm
Okay.
assuming I
And I
don't
got a-
add a modifier to that.
No,
No.
definitely not. I got a 10.
Okay. So Pike, you have no idea who this person is. Everybody else kind of has like you recognize this person as Opal. She's super famous huntress that retired a long time ago. And but yeah, you know of a bunch of her exploits, right? It's rumored she traveled kind of in the same circles as the Grim Reaper before she kind of stopped doing her huntress thing and kind of disappeared. So yeah, she kind of notices everybody walking in, and Pike is doing his thing. She actually kind of looks at you for a second, and she's like, okay, doesn't pay you any more mind.
Asher saw him
it
puff
works.
up and immediately start trying to pretend like he is not with him at all.
Arashtra, what are you doing as you walk in here? Are you guys like all rolling up to the bar together?
Yeah, I follow Asher to the bar, completely ignoring Pike.
Okay.
I'm walking to the bar, but I'm taking a kind of like big elaborate steps, like as I do it, kind of like. But my roll was good, so everybody's into it.
She kind of takes a second look over at Asher. Asher, you've got your hood
I'm
up.
still trying to like keep my head.
But it
down
was not enough. She rolled pretty well. She looks over at you. She looks over at you, and she was like, "Asher Mora, I'm surprised you're still alive."
Great.
I say, me too.
I turn and I'm like watching the
I'm
situation.
a little
now.
salty about my stuff missing.
It'll take more than what happened last time to get rid of me, and I pull my hood back since there's no point now.
I ask for an ale.
Yeah, I would also order a whiskey.
Great, right down to business. She starts kind of getting your guys' orders together.
Wait, I
and
didn't
while
order yet. Can I order?
She stops, looks at you.
Do you have people like grape soda?
She's like, I'll have to check. And she waves
you wouldn't
at
mind.
it. Right, there's she's got someone else working the bar with her, a younger guy, and she kind of like waves to him like, go check in the back.
I want you to know, while this is happening, I'm piercing eyes looking at Asher right now. I'm a little upset that he's taking my belongings.
Okay.
I sit down next
He's
to
taking my
Asher,
belongings.
and I've ordered a whiskey, and I whispered to Asher, "What happened last time?"
It's a long story.
And Opal kind of hears that and kind of like chuckles to herself, and she kind of sets a roster drink.
All right, so I would like to I'd like to take out my scroll, and I pay for my drink.
Oh no.
And also for Phoenix's drink.
She accepts your payment. She works with Phoenix's drink. Slides it over to Phoenix.
Cool. I
And,
tossed the scroll back to Phoenix because it was his.
Perfect.
That's just the one eye.
I want you to know. I want you to know. This is me looking at you. I'm very upset.
Opal is kind of getting all of your drinks ready. The can of the can of people like grape soda comes back, but it's diet. So that's all she's got for you. So she kind of gets all your drinks set up in front of you, and she's kind of, while she's in the middle of that, kind of looks over her shoulder, and she's like, "So, what brings you four here, right on the heels of a Grimm attack?"
So I'm gonna take my beverage and I'm gonna leave because I'm a little upset at what Asher did, and also because I saw that there was that wall of pictures, and I'm kind of curious to go see who is on that wall.
We've heard you got a bit of a Grimm problem.
Yeah, problems. One way to put it. But yeah, she's like, been a lot of weirdness around here lately, you could say.
What's going on?
I don't know. You tell me. You guys were there. What did go on at that attack? Was there anything strange that happened? And so she's
Can
just
I
kind
like
of looking
whisper
at
to
you guys
everybody else
expectantly.
like, are we in trouble now?
On our bumpy ride into town, I managed to catch a glimpse of a whole bunch of Grimm massing up and heading this way.
Yeah, that's true. There have been a lot of them. But what else was going on?
We already answered a riddle at the door. Do we have to play this game?
Right. So you guys go ahead and roll me give me an insight check.
So I did 16, and what do I add to that?
Insight, that would be wisdom.
So not for me. Got it. 16 it is.
I got 14.
8.
Cool. So yeah, as she's asked that question to you guys kind of all are starting to think back to like the that Grimm attack, and it was kind of in the moment for you guys, and you guys were all focused on like fighting all the Lancers that were coming behind you. But you start thinking about that it was a little bit strange that Lancers, they're flying Grimm are normally attracted to people. It wouldn't be that abnormal, right? If it was like a like a Berengal or a Beowulf, right, that had charged across that path and started attacking the gate because the gate was in the way of it. But it was pretty weird that the Lancers could go anywhere.
They seem more
and
interested
were
in the gate than they did us.
kinda
The
goes
gates
back
are
to-
people. Too.
Asher rolls his eyes so hard.
So she kind of acknowledges all that, and she was like, yeah, so grim weirdness, kind of like that.
Have you heard of anything that might be causing that?
I've heard maybe a few things. Listen, if you want to know a little bit more about weird grim attacks, I don't know as much about that. But she kind of nods over to someone, kind of with their back facing you, and you can tell from where you're at that there's like they're wearing kind of a city guard uniform. She's like, Daff over there. Daff might be able to help you with that.
I'm gonna.
So
motion
I
over
kinda,
to
like,
Daff.
look
I think
over-
we should head that way.
Yeah, I look over to Daff and I kind of like acknowledge Arastra, but I'm staying at my seat.
I ask Opal what he's drinking.
Yeah, she kind of pours some ale for you, and sets it in front of you.
I check my person to make sure I still have my scroll.
You do. For now.
I'm like, as y'all walk away, I'm be like, hey, I'll be there in 1 second. And then I turn back and I'm like, okay, just you and me. What happened with Asher? I gotta know. I
I'm still
gotta
here.
know. No, you're gone too. We gotta know. And I pull Phoenix closer. And I'm like, we gotta
you reel
know.
me away?
So go ahead and give me a
I'll give you whatever roll you want.
give me a charisma check.
Persuasion, oh
No,
my
not that
God.
one.
This didn't
Okay,
scare
I got a 14 total.
She was like, here's the deal. She's like, I'm willing to give out information, but a lot of people come through here asking questions. She's like, there's a couple of things that I can part with for free, but there's a couple of things that I can't quite do that. How about you prove to me that you're not going to get your throat slit here sometime in the next couple of days, and then maybe I've got a little bit more for you.
What if instead of proving it to you now, I just come back in a couple days and then you tell me? I'm kidding.
Eddie.
Yes.
I pull out my scroll and I pull up a picture and I show it to her and I say, "Have you seen this guy? This man?"
She looks at the picture and you kind of see her kind of like search, and she kind of thinks for a second about like being coy about it, and then she was like, no, can't say that I have.
Was that picture from the SOS?
No one knows what
it's
this
personal.
picture is.
Ooh.
Actually, give me a charisma check on it.
It's 12 plus 2, so 14.
Just for my, am I looking at, you've told me little things about backstory and I don't want to give away too much. Am I looking at Faunus or a human?
Faunus.
Okay, so she looks at him and she's like, I think you can find the right people here to ask.
Does she like look in any general direction towards anybody in the bar?
No, nobody in the bar. She was like, you'll
here in town.
Yeah, she's like, you'll be able to find someone.
I say thank you, and I give her thank you very much, and I give her like a tip based off of the beverage that I have.
Thanks you. Do you stay at the bar,
And
or what are you doing?
I'm actually gonna stay at the bar and kind of keep an eye on things.
I attempted
So the rest
to
of you-
overhear that conversation. I saw Phoenix talking with Opal, and I tried to listen in.
Yeah, Rasha, give me a perception check.
17.
Nice. So yeah,
Holy
you
perception, Batman.
yeah. So you definitely you caught like 90% of that, right? Like you got the general vibe that of what went down between them. Maybe you didn't hear the exact words, right? But you caught the vibe that Phoenix is looking for somebody. So everybody else, you guys are walking over to Daff. Is that where you were going?
Yeah, well, I think Raster is in the lead on that.
So you guys just you go to the table, and Arashra, you just sit right down, and then he kind of like looks up with a start. And now that you guys are closer, he's got a little bit of a familiar face. Go ahead and give me. We'll do history checks. More. I forget the exact. I want to say history checks are, but like mostly from memory.
I'm gonna
I
roll.
rolled 20.
Ooh,
Nat
natural?
20?
No.
I'd like to point out that when Arastra sat down, I sat down across from her on the guy's other side and started sliding a drink towards him.
I say real quick, I rolled a 4, but I am also like, I'm just like hanging out nearby,
So what you guys notice, like you pick out, like it's kind of like when you see a face and it's like, golly, you look like a celebrity or something, right? You sit down and this dude looks like a low rent Crow Bronwyn. Like straight up, you sit down and he looks like maybe 10, 15 years younger, right? But he's got the same kind of like 5 o'clock shadow. He's got the same like haircut, and he looks at you guys. He's like, whoa, and he's like, who are you guys?
Who are you guys? We're just looking for some information.
Huh. He kind of looks down and he like sees the alcohol that you slid in front of him, and he's like, what do you guys want to know? And he kind of like nervously pulls the drink over. And
What do you know about the Grimm that have been flocking into town?
what do I know about the Grimm, huh?
Opal sent us your way, yeah. Seems a little unusual.
Yeah, were you guys out on that bridge for that Grimm attack?
Yes.
For a notably long time, we were.
So he kind of looks at you guys and he's like, yeah, the other guardsmen are talking about you guys. Go ahead and give me persuasion checks.
While they're doing all this, I'm kind of just surveying the area. Do I see anything out of the ordinary? I can roll a perception for that if you'd like.
Yeah, give me a perception check for that.
Also, Eddie, I rolled
I got-
19.
16
Okay.
for me.
4. I'm so nervous about like my stance and like how I'm sitting
That you're
I
like,
just like
not-
I can't think about anything else.
Okay, so so he looks at you and he's like, okay, well, you bought me a drink, so what do you want to know about weird Grimm attacks?
Yeah, it seems that they were more interested in the gate than us.
He's like, yeah, that was pretty weird, but it's not the weirdest thing that I've seen around here. You guys hear the one about the Baringle that walked into a bar?
We don't have time
Can't
for
say
jokes.
that I have.
He's like, well, it wasn't a joke. I was just trying to have a cool lead in for a story. I'm sorry. I tried to like say cool things, but like it doesn't always.
I want to look over to him and be like, I totally get that, man.
Thank you. That means a lot. He's like, it's not really like a joke. It's more of like, so a few weeks ago. And so he tells you this story, right? About how recently Baringle sneaks its way into the city, gets past the city guard, past the gates, climbs up through one of the cliffs, ignores a whole sector of people down the main strip, ignores housing, ignores the hedges, sneaks deep into the city, which is very rare for Grimm, and actually gets all the way to a Hana warehouse down in the industrial district of Kuchinashi. And so, he's telling you about the story. He was like, yeah, sneaks all the way in, gets all the way, hits this Hana warehouse, right? Takes out a bunch of the guys, disrupts their shipments. And yeah, pretty strange.
What happened to the Grimm?
Well, the Hana took care of it as far as I know.
Did you hear any rumors as to what might have been in that warehouse?
Well, it's a Hana warehouse, right? Actually, go ahead and give me history checks.
18 history.
Forgot.
Nice. So you
9.
guys,
You don't even ask me anymore, Eddie.
yeah, it's like you're fine.
You don't even ask me.
So you guys are aware, right? Like you guys don't know. There's like a bunch of different crime families and like criminal organizations that do business in Mistral, and in Kuchinashi. You guys know that one of the big ones is the Hana gang, and the thing that they are known for is moving narcotics. You kind of know that information going into this. He's like, well, if it's a Hana warehouse, probably drugs. But their shipments have been all kinds of weird rumors about their shipments have been disrupted and people aren't getting their supplies the way they used to, and got a bunch of junkies out here on the streets looking for hits. It's been all over the place lately.
Since we just mentioned, we started talking about the Hana Guild, I would like to roll a perception check and look around and see if anybody has taken an interest in our conversation or is looking suspicious.
Nice roll.
So 16 plus. No, I never have plus on that. So it's 16.
So what you notice is the guy on stage that's kind of doing the little, like with his scrolls, like sampling loops and doing his whole like lo-fi hip hop thing. Just occasionally he's kind of like glancing up at you guys back in the corner a little bit, but then he kind of keeps going back to his music.
I ask him, is there anything else? Is there any other strange Grimm activity or anything more you can tell us about what's going on with Hana right now?
He's like, well, the thing that we're hearing a lot about is it's not just the Hana, it's the Hana and the Wave. That they've been really at each other's throats for some reason lately. Nobody really knows why. Like
More than
the other
usual?
criminal organizations are kind of getting involved a little bit, but those are the two. the thing that the Wave is known for, kind of in this area, again, they're like like a relatively like newer criminal organization, just kind of in the grand scheme of things. They're not like one of the old families that's had power for a long time, like the Hana. But the Wave, they are primarily known for kind of like dealing in like stolen goods, like high technology, like stolen Atlas military tech, right, like merchandise, things like that. He tells you about that. Kind of one other thing that he heard from the city guard was that this stream of Grimm, they came from the North Mountain Pass. Right, there's like all these canyons and stuff that lead into Kuchinashi. So he kind of keeps drinking, and he's like, "Is there anything else you guys like? Man, you guys are pretty cool. Do you guys want to like hang out, or like, you know, I can like put you in touch with people if you need something around here."
So I grumble and I'm like, oh, I can use some tacos actually.
He tells you about a spot in the hedges that have the best tacos that you'll have in your life, but you've really got to look for it, right? He asked to see your scroll, and he can mark it down on the map for you.
I look at Asher just because I'm handing my scroll and I hand it over to Daff, but I'm like eyes on Asher.
And like I lean over and I'm like, you know, you could always get like a chain wallet for your scroll.
Oh, Pike, and I pat him on the back, but it's like
Too much.
I've been drinking, so I don't know my own strength.
We can go to the warm subject and get you one later.
I've heard of the hedges.
Just while this is happening, Asher gets up, walks around, and then I lean down to Arastra, and I say, that DJ's been watching us this whole time. I'm gonna go ask him some questions. You keep an eye on everything.
Yeah, head that way.
I follow up, and because I just mentioned, I say, I've heard about these hedges. I hear they're quite dangerous.
He's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to get lost too far down there. There's all sorts of guys down there up to no good. A lot of bandits hanging around. You know, you just gotta watch your back down there, and you don't want to get lost. Don't want to get lost in there.
I kind of do my cool pose, and I'm like, sometimes danger's good.
So I take a seat, waiting for the DJ to stop playing or go on break.
He kind of looks at you. He's kind of like sampling his loops, and you kind of tell that he kind of gives you a couple of glances, and he kind of steps down, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Nothing. I was just admiring your music, so the same way that you seem to be admiring our conversation.
Oh, he kind of balks a little bit. He was like, "Oh, just you haven't seen you guys in here before. I was just kind of doing my thing, and I just noticed that you guys were new here. So I'd notice anyone new that comes in."
We're looking for some information. You know anything going on with the Grimm in the area, or anything related to Hana's activities lately?
You can tell that like as you say that, there's kind of like a little bit of a look, and he's like, I don't know if I could tell you much. I mean, they've been fighting a lot in the city, and so I really need to get back on the stage.
All right, cool. Let's try this another way. So I pull out one of my fortune's fangs and hold it very subtly and sneakily up to his side.
Okay. Give me intimidation. Give me an intimidation roll. While you're rolling, I want to check in with everybody else. What's everybody else doing?
And then we'll stop. Yeah, please,
this?
by all means, go back. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to take this whole thing.
No. You're good. You're good. I just want to make sure and check in with everybody. Are you guys still talking to Daff? What are you doing?
Any chance you could point out on my map that Honda warehouse you're talking about?
Yeah, sure. So he do you hand him your scroll? And because there's been a lot of hesitation with scroll handing. No issues here. So yeah, you do that, and then he kind of looks through it, and he marks the map on your location for the lower levels. Okay, so we're gonna go back to before we get back over to Asher. So the door to the skillful busts open, and four pretty noisy people, all decked out, right?
Extroverts.
There's 2 men, 2 extroverts. Look out, ENTJs.
Gross.
But
my people.
But yeah, so four of them walk in. like they come in like they own this place. 2 men, 2 women, right? Like there's kind of one that seems to be in the lead, like kind of dark and lean, lots of like leather and buckles, like pale, emo hair, right? That he's always like brushing out of his face.
The goths are here.
What?
Yeah, he comes in. He's like Opal. He's like Opal. We're celebrating. So
I love me a goth valley
Thor.
girl.
And he kind of
Yeah,
looks.
there it is. Exactly. That's what we're going for.
He comes in. He's like we're celebrating. Looks over. He sees Phoenix, and he's like, that guy's Tab. And
Do I hear this?
right, yeah, you hear it. He makes a big point of. He makes a big point of saying it, right? Opal kind of rolls her eyes and she's like, Syl, you can buy it yourself. Don't harass the new guests and keep it quiet tonight. The 4 of them sit down, right? So there's Syl that she just addressed. There's a guy behind him that's like a huge, like pot-bellied man, like enormous, has like goggles and shaggy hair. There's
Roadhog.
two women behind them. One of them, her face is obscured. She's got like a helmet, like a closed helmet that like covers it. She's like very like spindly. And tall, and then another woman behind her, kind of dressed in like almost like a khaki colored armor, like aviator jacket type thing, jet black hair, also pale, and all of the, and like heavy eye makeup, like eyeliner type thing, and they all come in and sit down, and Opal starts pouring them drinks. Let's go back
Burton
over
has entered the
to
chat.
let's kind of go let's go back over to Asher.
So for intimidation, I rolled a 15. What do I plus that with? What, charisma?
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
this would
what?
be with charisma.
Yeah, great. So 17.
Okay, so he sees that, and then he immediately like freezes up, and he's like, "You're gonna have to repeat the question. People don't really pull weapons on me all that much. I'm not like actually a huntsman. I just perform here. So like okay.
Hey,
I will.
listen.
Okay, I'm
I
listening.
don't want to have to hurt you,
Good. Me neither.
but let's be real.
I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
You're not
Please.
telling me what you know, and you had way more of an interest than just some newcomers passing by. So let's just make this easy. You tell me what you know, and we'll go about our way. And I'll even throw these in anyway.
Okay. Is that like a trick? Are you going to like cut me and then pay me, or just cut me and not pay me?
I think the best case scenario for both of us is that there's no cutting. So you just
Yeah.
tell me what you know about Hana
Okay.
or any weird Grimm activity lately.
Okay.
I'll hand you your tip, and you can go back to playing your music, and I'll go about my way.
Okay. And so he just kind of like starts spilling his guts just a little bit, and he doesn't really know anything, but he was paid by somebody. There's somebody that's out in the hedges. His name is like he goes by the Taskmaster, former huntsman that lost his license due to kind of dealing with shadier activity. And so you know immediately that if this is somebody that lost his huntsman license pretty quickly, that he was into some bad business. And he lets you know he's just one of those guys, right? Like he owes everybody something. Everybody owes him something, right? So I owed him a favor, and he told me to keep an eye out at the skillful. If anyone comes around asking about the Hana on the wave, to let him know.
Sounds good, but you're not going to tell him anything about us, right?
No, of course not. Like you can tell, like this guy's like pretty scared. He's like, I'll even throw this in, and he like reaches in his pocket, and he hands you like it looks like an old like brass coin, and it's got kind of like an X scratched into it. He's like, if you go around and show this to the right people in the hedges, they can point you towards the Taskmaster. Okay.
So I spin do like a little flourish with one of my daggers and put it back in, pat him on the back and be like, see, that wasn't so hard. And then I throw the money into his little guitar case tip jar and then walk back to our group.
Nice. So you guys are still talking to Daff. What are you doing?
I'm gonna lean into Daff and ask, do you recognize Syl and his gang? Do you know what's up with them?
He looks over and he's like, oh man, that's Team Smoke. And he's like, they showed up a few weeks ago. You don't want to mess with those guys. They're serious business, but man, they are annoying.
So as this is happening, I've already stood up
Oh, okay.
and I make my way to their table where they're sitting.
It is Phoenix's moment.
Okay, so they're at the bar. Give me a perception check while you're doing that.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, so while you're walking up,
plus I think 1, so 20.
while you're walking up, the one girl with like the kind of covered helmet, right? You kind of catch a little glimpse, like she's got these little like eye slits in the helmet. You catch a little glimpse that she is like watching you like through a side eye as you walk up.
As foolhardy as I am, I walk up, I go and I start laughing. I audibly laugh very loud. and I tap Syl on the back, but I'm not tap. I'm in like,
Yeah.
bah, like, ha ha.
So you clap him on the back, and he actually like spills his drink just a little bit that he had in his hand. And so he kind of like gets this like look at you, and he kind of does, and he like brushes his hair out of his eyes again while looking at you, and he's like, "Hey, friend."
Hello, friend. You were gonna put a drink on my tab. At least, do the kindness of telling me your name and telling me what we're celebrating together.
He kind of looks at the rest of them, and they all kind of look, and he was like, "Well, we're Team Smoke." And as he says it, one of the women in the back goes, Psh.
I look at her, like kind of puzzled.
Yeah.
And then I look back at him and I start laughing. And I hit him on the back again.
Give me an intimidation check while you do that.
Yeah, I got a 3. I got a +2 to that, so 5. And as I'm laughing, as I'm saying this, I'm like, I never heard of you. Now, I want you to know I'm saying this very loudly. I've been drinking. I'm a little bit excited at the moment. And I'm like, we're new in town. I've not heard of Team Smoke. I say it like that.
Oh, and then it's at this point that I'd like to come up, and because like I'm the only sober one here. I'm the only one not drinking. I haven't even had any liquid. I'm actually very thirsty, but we'll get to there in a second. I'm gonna walk up and like when he says Team Smoke, I want to like in the background be like, Psst, that is fun to do. Hey, what's up? I'm Pike.
The big one with the goggles like looks at you like and takes special interest in you and does not stop staring at you.
Can I look at the person staring at me and just like,
yeah, go for it.
yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
You give me an intimidation check actually too. Why go for it?
What if I'm not trying to intimidate? All right.
16.
Nice. Okay, so you're kind of
Intimidation, right?
you're kind of smiling at him, and he's kind of like staring at you.
more intimidating than me?
He's like, this kid is freaking scary, man. He like won't stop staring at me, right? So like that's kind of his reaction to it.
Also, I go sit down at the table across from Rastra, and then I would also like to do a perception check because I'm gonna scout. I see these guys doing their thing, and I want to like laser focus scan Team Smoke and see what all they got going on because I just feel like it's probably gonna go bad.
So while you're doing that, you can do your perception check. So you've clapped Syl in the back again, Phoenix, and Syl is kind of like, well, we're celebrating a big payday, actually.
I got
nice.
a 12, by the way.
You get
Got
a
a
nat 20?
nat 20, but plus 5 modifiers, so.
Okay, well, I mean, the nat 20, I
So,
feel like supersedes
Nat
all.
20 overdoes it. It just, that's it. That's the game. We've won. Laura has won the game.
But okay,
So she uses her X-ray vision.
Yeah,
and
so Syl, so Arashtra, with your nat 20, you noticed Opal, right? You noticed kind of things going on. The other thing that you notice about Team Smoke in particular is the woman that was in kind of like the tan khaki like aviator jacket. She is on the ready a little bit, and she's it's one of those things where it's like you can tell that like she's like fidgeting like a little bit nervously.
I'm definitely going to notice that and kind of mirror that behavior. Like I'm kind of ready to spring into action. I'm looking at my teammates in case I need to alert them.
What next? So Syl just told you to
Eddie.
sit down.
Eddie, I rolled a 4 for my perception, or 3 + 1. So for my perception, I was trying to see if I saw Opal's facial expressions in the situation to help guide where I'm going next.
Yeah, you can kind of see that she's looking a little annoyed at the altercation. But that's really all you can see.
Is there an available seat kind of here next to Smoke in that area?
Yeah, there's the whole bar.
I sit directly next to him. So, Team Smoke, huh? Are you graduates of an academy nearby, or
He kind of
whereabouts you from?
Syl kind of looks at you and like flicks his hair out of his eyes constantly. He's like, if you're a fan or something, just look us up on your scroll. I don't know.
I believe I was
we're here
asking
to
you a
celebrate.
question.
So I'm not really interested in talking to you.
You were interested in my tab a moment ago, so surely you're interested in becoming friends.
I told you to sit down. I guess I wasn't specific enough. I want you to sit down somewhere far away from me.
Oh, so you had no intentions of being friends?
This is getting
No,
juicy.
can't say
Well, then
can't say that I did.
I think that's awful rude of you to come in and ask to put a beverage on my tab and not join me and my friends in some revelry while we, partake in ale here.
We
in
could
this,
celebrate together.
lovely tavern.
So Sil kind of looks at Pike like the way he would like a little kid and was like, okay, tell me what you're celebrating.
It's my birthday.
Okay. He looks at you and he sees your diet people like grape soda, and he's like, huh, celebrating pretty hard. How about we do you one better? And so he looks over at Opal and he points at like a certain bottle kind of like really high up on the shelf. It's actually a little dusty, like it's not something that gets opened very often. And
Just like my
he's
soda can.
yeah. And he's like, and kind of the big guy's like, he's like, yo, Sil, what are you doing, man? And he's like, no. We just got a big payday. We can do it. Give the kid here something for the top shelf, right? And she kind of looks, she looks at them, looks at you, and she's like, she gets up, pulls it down, pours it for you, slides it over to you.
I just kind of like, I look at it, and I'm just like, oh, I don't drink.
Like you waited for all that.
But I appreciate it. If you're celebrating too, well, here you go.
Now I'm starting to get pretty annoyed, kid. And he kind of stands up and he's got the drink. He was like, I spent a lot of money for you to have this drink.
I stand up and I get in between him and Pike.
Asher is laser focused on Team Smoke right now.
Yeah.
Like every sinew in my body ready for some bad stuff to happen.
Eddie, I'm going to use my semblance.
Okay, great. Great.
Okay.
Great, let's do it. Let's explain what your semblance is.
You can help me explain it too, but
Off
basically
the rails.
the way it works, so it's called Fate's Hand.
Wow.
So one thing to say is that Pike's semblance is a little bit more like conversationally like passive, sort of passively
Yeah.
based rather than a combat semblance like everybody else's. Carrie wanted to have at least one semblance that was like that in the party for these kinds of scenarios.
So essentially, what I kind of do is I
excited
look
about
deep
this.
within myself and I think about,
Oh my god.
and I ask Fate for the best way to handle the situation. From a gameplay mechanic, what that means is, so you know how normally it's like, you know, you roll a 1 or you roll a 20, and that's like super good or super bad or super good, and then everything else in the middle is kind of like, you know, that spectrum of like 2 to 19. I instead roll a d12 and it gets split into thirds. So I have a 1 through 4 is a critical fail, a 9 through 12 is a critical success, and a 5 through 8 is a neutral response or a neutral result.
Yeah,
So
it's
basically I
your-
have a better chance of getting a critical success, but also a better chance of getting a critical failure.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so it's like it's like almost like the hands of fate, right? Like it's and that's sort of what Pike is leaning into is like this sense of fate that like tugs at him. I am such a big fan of the semblance, and I partly because I know it's gonna break so many
definitely.
things.
Oh, the wild card, dude.
Roll your d12 for us.
Okay, I'm rolling a d12, and my
I'm
first
watching
one
this.
is a 3.
No!
Is a 3.
Okay.
Undo. So like, the way I played this out in my head when I thought it was gonna be better is, you know how Phoenix like stepped in front of me?
Yeah.
I stepped in front of him,
Okay.
and that's
Okay,
what I'm
so that's what
leaving
you're
it for you, Eddie.
So that's what you're trying to do when you activated your
buddy.
semblance. When you
Yeah,
rolled
I
into
was
the-
gonna try and come
buddy.
in and like calm things down.
Oh, little
Also,
buddy.
deduct your aura points for that.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
It was not worth it.
Okay, so Pike starts to push past Phoenix, and Pike, feeling the hands of fate, activates his semblance, and fate does not treat Pike very well, and Pike accidentally
Oh, boy.
trips Phoenix as Phoenix is going forward. Phoenix stumbles into Sil, but as you're trying to catch yourself, like, right, you get your hands up and it looks more like a shove. So you kind of shove Sil back, and he stands up,
the
and he's like, nobody does that to Team Smoke. And then one of them is like standing up and goes, she's there back for she's ready for it.
I hate them so much.
They're all looking at you, right? And what starts to happen is the skillful starts to get really dark. And like this darkness is coming from Sil, the big guy. He stands up. He pulls out. He has an enormous club that he pulls out, and actual smoke seems to start pouring from it, like obscuring him. And then after that, right, you kind of start to hear the sounds just kind of what sounds almost like rope, like going around. And from where you are, Pike, so something hits you and you get like stuck in spot, like arms bound, like completely stuck in place. And this darkness again is starting to like permeate the entire bar. And Syl is super pissed, and the rest of Team Smoke is super pissed. And Pike, you are like stuck in place.
It was an accident.
And this is starting to look really bad. What are you guys doing as you start to see this?
I grab Syl by his stupid faunus hair. Sorry. I grab Syl by his head and I go to smash it into the bar.
Give me a strength check.
16 plus 4. Oh no, that's athletics. Plus, is it just raw strength?
Yeah.
Plus 2.
Yeah.
So a wicked 18.
Good. So yeah, that you grab him by his stupid hair and you just like slam his face, like straight down onto the bar. And he kind of like stumbles to his knees and looks at you like completely shocked. And now he is super angry. All right, let me get a wisdom check from all you guys.
I got a whopping 5-areno.
10.
11.
9.
So every single one of you starts to feel super lightheaded. You know, like when you get that head rush when you stand up too fast. But it's like crazy, like to the point where like Pike, you would fall down if you weren't like kind of stuck in place by whatever it is that's holding you in place. Phoenix,
Cool.
you like have to grab the bar because you're standing up, right? Like you want to like fall down. Asher and Arastra, you guys are sitting down, right? So it's not as much for you, but you still definitely feel that like that weird thing. But the same thing starts to happen to Team Smoke. Right, the darkness starts to fade. The bar starts to brighten back up again. The smoke starts to appear, and you guys see Opal. Right, she's got her hands outstretched, and she was like, "I don't have a lot of rules, but one of them is that you do not bring that in here into the skillful." And she's like, "Do I make myself clear?" She's looking at you specifically because you're holding on to Syl's head that you have slammed into the bar. So do you let go of him? Are you still holding on to him?
I let go because of her request.
Okay, you let go of him. Opal immediately, like, she kind of like relaxes her hands, right? You guys feel like that kind of like blood rush back where you're starting to get your equilibrium back. Teen Smoke kind of does too. As everything's clear, Pike, you notice, and everyone notices that Pike is actually tied up in webs. And Team Smoke kind of all stand, and you can tell they're like itching for like something else. They kind of look at Opal, and Syl looks at you, and he's like, "This isn't the last you'll see of Team Smoke." And then one of them pops in, but then as she does it, they actually, all four of them actually do kind of like get covered in smoke, and then the smoke swoops out of the front door, and they are gone.
There's like a long silent
beat,
and then all of a sudden I just say, "Am I that annoying?"
Asher is already behind Pike, and he just goes, "Yes."
So Opal, you can tell she's still like incensed at all this, and she's still like, she actually takes that expensive bottle that she had already poured, she sets in the bar and slides it down towards you guys, and she's like, "Good luck in Kuchinashi. Get out."
I make eye contact with Opal and say, "I'm not with them," and then also leave.
I am going to follow out the door, but first I definitely make eye contact with Opal. I don't say anything. It's just a knowing look.
She kind of returns it back to you, and there's like a little bit of like, she gets it, but she's still pissed.
Just to be clear, I am still tied up by the webbing, and I'm going to look over at Opal. No, it's okay. It's okay, Chris. It's okay. I look over at Opal, and I just say, "I'll be back in a few days because I will still be alive." And then like I kind of like waddle out, and I give like a nod to Daff. Yeah, I give a nod to Daff.
So
like, see you later.
So Opal like kind of watches you like helplessly trying to like waddle your way out, and like it's embarrassingly bad, and so she just like sighs and she's like, "Buck," and Buck comes in and just kind of picks you up with one hand and carries you out and tosses you out onto the street.
With him laying face down in the dirt outside, I would like to walk up to him and pull out one of my daggers.
I'm scared.
You're probably a little scared. And instead, I cut him free of the webs in one swift motion.
I kind of want to like get up and like brush myself off, and then like nothing happened. Just like, oh, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. So now what do you
Way
guys
to go? I see you made some new friends.
Yeah, and one of them gave me the location of the warehouse we need to go.
I make my way in a direction. I would like to find the nearest inn. I don't know if I have knowledge of that information or not.
Yeah, can real quick before he starts walking off, can I put my hand on his shoulder and just say like, "Hey, thanks for having my back, and I'm sorry that I completely tripped into you and whiffed it, pretty good."
I kind of like look at him and I give him like a little head shake and I go, and I just keep walking.
Asher gets everyone's attention. While you two were playing around with Team Smoke or whatever, I had an interesting conversation with the DJ.
Oh, yeah?
And managed to produce this. And I pull out the coin that I was given.
Eddie, do I have any knowledge of the nearest inn?
You can give me a
Asher would, right?
perception check.
I got 18 plus.
So you got an 18 plus. So you didn't see one. You didn't see one coming in, but you can see one kind of a little bit ways down the street past the skillful.
I'm just upset with the situation, so I'm walking towards the inn.
Apparently, there's a former huntsman called the Taskmaster who's been.
So he just got disappeared.
I'm like listening to Asher, but I'm also like what do I do now?
Apparently, there's a former huntsman called the Taskmaster. Yeah. He's been very interested to see if anyone's been sniffing around about odd Grimm behavior or anything related to Hana. And apparently, this will get me into where we need to go in the hedges.
And I yell, "Phoenix! Asher's talking about sniffing. You love doing that. Come back."
Why don't we get a good night's rest and then see where this goes in the morning?
I think that sounds pretty good.
Okay, yeah. So you guys all make your way a little bit down the main strip to this inn. There's a little bit of going in and talking to the innkeeper there. So he kind of moves some things around and is able to make some space for you guys. Are you sharing a room? Are you staying in 4 different rooms?
Let's save our money as long as we have individual bunks.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys all kind of sleep through the night. Asher, at one point in the middle of the night, you kind of wake up, kind of like that little startle wake up that you normally do if you feel like you hear something or whatever, but you kind of check around, you have no idea what that is, and go back to bed.
No.
Cool. So at this point, the
Listen,
innkeeper comes back. He's like, "Did your friend find you guys last night?"
What friend?
He kind of looks back. He was like, "Oh, someone came around here asking for you guys, asking what room you were in, and I wanted to make sure that he actually knew you guys, and he said that he was gonna just head outside and give you guys a call, that he knew had another way to reach you, but I didn't let him go upstairs."
What did he look like?
I don't know. He was kind of a squirrely guy. He didn't want to answer any of my questions. He left and he kind of went off in the direction of the hedges.
That is pretty suspicious.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to
potatoes,
see
by
if he caught up with you guys or not.
Well, then it sounds like we should head towards the hedges.
It does. I hate to say it because it broke a pretty long streak for me, but I don't think we made any friends yesterday.
You don't say.
Okay.
I think the hedges are a good idea during the daytime anyways.
All right. So are you guys settled on going to the hedges? Cool.
I'll agree
So
to that. I'll
let's do
agree.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
all right. So you guys head out into the main strip as you're stepping out, and as you kind of round one of the corners, Asher's kind of able to lead you guys back towards the hedges, and you look up and see kind of the twisted series of back alleys that kind of seem to open up endlessly before you guys, and you make your way in, and that is where we will start our next adventure.
I'm excited.
Wow, that was awesome.
Okay.